So I wanted to talk about why you should treat your life like you're the protagonist of a story. So what usually happens with the protagonist of a story is that they have these dreams, and the dream always seems so far away from them, but what ends up happening is that they work towards the dream throughout the story, and they end up achieving their dream. So this is why it's important to treat your life like it's a story, because if you don't do anything to work towards the dream, then the plot is never gonna progress, and everything is just gonna stay the same, and your life will be just uninteresting, and you'll achieve nothing. So I want to provide an example in my life. So before I was writing books or making videos, I was just either reading books, watching movies or shows, or playing video games. And you have to understand that doing these things don't move the plot of your life forward. It's just a distraction. And what I think moves the plot of your life forward is learning to stop consuming content and start to create content, because creating content is something that you can offer the world to make it a better place, and to increase your status and increase your income as well. So in my opinion, learning to create content is what really is gonna move your life forward and move the plot forward in your life. So I want to talk about how writing in a journal moves your life forward. So what writing in a journal does is that it's not a distraction from your problems. What you're doing is that you're facing your problems, and you're really considering what problems you're having. And what this does is that it moves the plot of your life forward, because if you know what your problems are, then you're a step closer to resolving them. And if you have this desire to resolve your problems, and you're acting on this desire to resolve your problems, and you're gonna move the plot of your life forward. And this is why I think it's so important to write in your journal. So I want to talk about how filming YouTube videos is moving the plot of my life forward. So like I said before, creating content is a way of moving the plot of your life forward, because you're contributing something to the world, and you could even be changing people's lives, and it could even be a source of income if you can keep people interested. So I wanna talk about how to move the plot of your romantic life forward. So the what I think the easiest way to move the plot of your love life forward is like texting girls. So I think texting girls is like a good way to gauge their interest in you, and like it's a way for them to express that they're not interested without you really getting embarrassed. So if your love life is like a story, then what you should be doing is like constantly progressing in your love life. So what I think a good way to progress your love life forward is to not really care what people think of you. So let's say that you ask a girl on a date through text and she doesn't even respond. She just blocks you and deletes you from her friends list. So if you never texted her, then you never would have been able to rule her out as one of your potential partners. So what this shows you is that your efforts are much better spent somewhere else, because this girl is just showing signs of really not being interested. And so now what this does is that it provides you with a reset button. You just reset and try again. So I want to talk about why I don't approach women. The reason I don't approach women is that I'm just not an open guy. So let's say I approach a girl and they ask me what I like to do. I'm just not really open about what I do when I'm by myself. So since I'm not open about what I do by myself, then I see when they ask me questions, I see it as an invasion of my privacy, and I don't want my privacy to be invaded. And so that's one big reason why that's a reason why I don't approach women. So I know one reason that guys don't approach girls is that they're afraid of being perceived as creepy. So what I think a creepy guy does is that he thinks he doesn't really have anything going on, and he's just thinking about a girl way too much, and even sexualizing this girl. So I'm also afraid of being perceived as creepy because because I also kind of sexualize women in my brain. And what this does is that it makes you think about them more than you should be thinking about them. You should like have your own business, and have your own life. But when you're sexualizing women in your brain, you're thinking of things that would make the girl uncomfortable. So yeah, being perceived as creepy and like being perceived as like this stalker, this loner who stalks women. This is a reason why I don't approach women